The Star-Spangled Banner discriminates against no one. It represents the hopes and dreams of a nation. It represents the values that we have built to this day, where we have become the least racist nation, the least discriminatory nation in the history of the world. That's right. Now, the left, the Democrats, they're going to be like, yeah, but when they wrote that song, they had slavery. I implore these people, literally just read history. Frederick Douglass, talk about based AF. He challenged the American people. He said, will you stand by your own words that all men are created equal? Or was that a lie? Man, talk about fire. And people were pissed. They were like, how dare you? Because they were racist. Yo, but he was right. He said, how dare you claim all men are created equal when you actually only meant white men or your people, your race. And so while I can certainly recognize this country is imperfect, of course, we're sane people. It was the values of the founding fathers distilled over time to create this beautiful and great and wealthy, powerful, prosperous nation. So my friends, the Star-Spangled Banner is a message to all races, to all peoples of the American dream. The idea that we would have a race-specific song is an affront to the great American melting pot. The Star-Spangled Banner.
Boom. I 100% agree with what Tim Pool just said right there. We do not need separate national anthems. I mean, again, we're trying to bring cultural unity. Having a national anthem for the whole country is unity. And then having a separate anthem for black people isn't exactly unifying.
Exactly. Where's the Asian national anthem? Where's the Indian national anthem?
Where's the Jewish national anthem?
Exactly.
Where's the Filipino child molester national anthem? What's going on here, folks? Like, again, one nation, under God, one national anthem. We're all God's children. We all need to come together and quit playing this whole identity politics game crap. Like, we cannot allow black identitarian Marxists to dictate that the black national anthem is more important than our national anthem. Again, cultural unity is what we need, not, again, cultural separation. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. So Chad and I actually came up with this idea while we were on the morning run this morning, and I think we should.
You came up with this idea. This is my idea.
It's your idea. Yeah, so I won't take away from it. But Fat, it's your idea. Why don't you tell them what you think we ought to do?
Well, since we had that
people talking of the boycotting it.
Yeah.
So instead of boycotting it, me and Chad say do this instead.
Yeah, don't boycott the national anthem. I say take a picture of yourself or video yourself taking a knee during the Black National Anthem, just like they did when, just like what's the one?
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick. That was his name. That took a kneel during the national anthem all those years ago.
We're taking it back. We're culturally appropriating it, Colin Kaepernick. We're going to take a knee during the Black National Anthem.
Amen to that. That's the new thing. So I'm gonna post out a thing.
Hashtag
take a knee take the knee for Black National Anthem.
Again, we don't have to not watch sports and not enjoy it. Let's enjoy the cultural unity that the Super Bowl is. That brings everybody together. We get to have a good time, spend time with family, eat good food, watch football. That's what we want.
And there's nothing more that drives the libs crazy than when you take something that they've used for your own purpose.
Yes, absolutely. They will get pissed about this. So again, take a knee for the Black National Anthem. Everybody, I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever you are, take a knee for it because we want cultural unity, not cultural separation, not cultural segregation. Because that's what the Black National Anthem represents right now. Cultural segregation. The black community stands apart from the rest of the culture, from the rest of the community.
Yep.
No. It's one anthem and one nation under God. Period. So we're going to jump right into it now that we've gotten that out of the way. So what do you got for us, Chad? How do you want to start this show off?
Start with this one. We finally heard some more information about the Army, the helicopter that crashed into the airplane. Well, as we find out that it turns out that the girl that was the pilot was top 20% of her class.
Yeah, in her ROTC class,
yeah.
top 20%.
Now, I agree that, there are certain places it's usually physical requirements like ranger school and, runs and rucks and whatnot where women usually fall or lag behind. But I don't think there's really much you could say about helicopter being a helicopter pilot, that they'd like be lenient on, that would like pass, especially if this girl's top 20. I mean, there's no way that she was that bad. So, and turns out that, there was a bunch of information going out that she was LGBTQ, even because she was taking pictures with people at pride marches and stuff like that. She was seen at the Biden administration.
She had a boyfriend.
She had a boyfriend. Her parents, didn't see the interview, but we saw a guy that interviewed her parents or a family member or something. And they said, yeah, no, she had a boyfriend. She's not gay. And, as for the thing, we don't know if she was they didn't get much information whether or not she was a Biden supporter or whatever or not. But, military people have to take photo ops with the president. I mean, it's kind of like a thing that you have to,
It's something
the commander in chief.
It'd be like if the governor came to my base at my Army National Guard unit. We'd take pictures with them even if we didn't like his policies, period. I mean, because there's some stuff that the governor has done that I'm not a huge fan of, but at the same time, I don't hate everything he's done.
Exactly. So here's just a little video. I can't play it because it's got music, but we'll just play this, and this is what this it's an Army Black Hawk pilot that does actually fly over the D.C. area.
Why don't you read it while it's going?
Yeah, I will. All right, here we go. As an Army Black Hawk pilot who has flown the same D.C. routes, and it's my opinion, there isn't always a conspiracy or a political reason. Sometimes it's just a tragedy. We shouldn't be divided on our opinions or false interpretations, but unite under our prayers and condolences.
Absolutely. Pray for this girl. Pray for everybody on that Black Hawk. Pray for everybody on that plane, and pray for their families. We need to pray that the God and Jesus can afford them some peace in this time of suffering.
Yes, and that's one of the reasons why we didn't really want to hop on this story, because I hate
it's just
stories that immediately, especially something like this, where you're going to find out something like that.
The veteran community, we're a small, tight-knit community, and she is our sister in arms, regardless of whether or not people think DEI propped her up. She went to the same basic training that I went to, or she went to the same, or I guess she went to ROTC. She went through all the same requirements to get through ROTC, and I don't know what they do through ROTC, but I mean, they have to do the same rucks and they have to do the same runs. They have to meet the standards. So, we should just say prayers for these people, because they need it. Their families need it. Pray for them. Pray for their families. And, the world's a crazy, chaotic place, and, hopefully they're all in a better place now. I believe they are.
Yep. The next one we have here is, since it's we're talking Super Bowl related, does anyone else here realize that Patrick Mahomes is just stealing Uncle Rico's moves from Napoleon Dynamite?
Yeah. If you guys remember Napoleon Dynamite, it was like a classic movie whenever I was coming up through, I guess,
it came out when we came out in high school, like high school,
mid-high, I think, yeah. And maybe more like 6th, 7th grade, but like the middle school grades is where Napoleon Dynamite. I mean, it was a phenomenon, and watching Uncle Rico and Patrick Mahomes, like I said, it's uncanny. It's like they're the same person.
That's funny, but that's good. That's good. And with Super Bowl being this weekend, I just thought that was really relevant.
Again, don't forget to take a knee during the Black National Anthem.
What else we got? Let's do this one, since we're talking about, since the thumbnail is Deport and Defund. And this one's kind of terrifying at the same time, because like our political enemies could use this against us. That's why I'm always, again, liberals, don't celebrate like a president doing something if you're afraid if a Republican president is going to do that thing. This is why this does kind of terrifying. But this is apparently, like El Salvador, which it's known to have one of the worst prison systems in the world, has offered to take any prisoners that the United States has right now, mainly like illegals, but it's saying that we'll take American citizens too if you want. It's kind of terrifying. So check this out.
The U.S. has just partnered with the absolute most terrifying prison system that I've seen in the entire world, El Salvador.
Has agreed to accept for deportation any illegal alien in the United States who is a criminal from any nationality, be they MS-13 or Tren de Aragua, and house them in his jails. He has offered to house in his jails dangerous American criminals in custody in our country, including those of U.S. citizenship and legal.
They're now talking about putting incarcerated American citizens in these El Salvador super prisons. And that's a big deal. First off, I don't know if it's legal or not. I'm sure they could figure out a way to make it legal, but these prisons are so notably horrific that there are documentaries about them. These El Salvador super prisons hold up to 30,000 people in each one. There are 300 people to each cell. The cells are massive and they sleep on nothing but a sheet of metal. You get no pillow, you get no blanket, you get no phones, you get no visit. You go into one of those cells, you do not come out. You do not see daylight ever again in your life, and you are kept there in nothing but a pair of white shorts. Listen to me, these are the worst prisons in the world. These are worse than Russian gulags. I've been telling you guys for years now that crime is not worth it. It's not if you get caught, it's only when, and they will now be sending American citizens to serve sentences in these El Salvador super prisons. If you are a criminal, get out now. If you are a drug addict, get help now, because this is not where you want to end your life. The U.S. is just...
Wow. Now, I think he's taking it a little too literally. I think it just sounds like there are talks. And again, it's a negotiation tactic. Imagine if everybody who does criminal acts goes, I don't want to go to El Salvador. Like, do you think criminality is going to go down? Probably.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely.
Again, if people, again, it's why, like in the Middle East, it's like if you steal something, you get your hand chopped off. Crime kind of goes down because it's do you want your hand or do you want that Snickers bar?
Yeah. And this is kind of like how it is. Like most prisons aren't like United States prisons where you like have like a cellmate or you're all by yourself. Mm-hmm. Like most prisons, like in the Latin American countries, are you share like a cell with a massive amount of people. Like the Guardians of the Galaxy one where Peter Quill gets arrested or whatever, or Star-Lord, whatever you call him. Mm-hmm. Like you're placed in there. Only the real big baddies get individual cells, is because they keep killing everyone else, so we've got to keep them away.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's wild, and it's crazy that that's like that. Mm-hmm. This next one I just thought was really cool, and like if you don't believe in God, like this guy heard God's voice and it saved his life. So
yeah, let's check it out.
Getting ready to walk toward them, walking back toward the RV, and I literally hear God tell me to turn around. As I turn around, for me it felt like I only took 3 steps, and then the music stopped. I just see orange, and then I hear a loud boom. As I'm getting ready to walk toward them, walking back toward the RV, and I literally hear God tell me to turn around.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's amazing. Guys, I mean, imagine he was looking at that. I mean, it could have done major damage to his eyes, could have had burns and to his face. Mm-hmm. I mean, he turned around and, like I said, that heat wave and blast hit his back instead of his face and his eyes. I mean, so that's huge, man. If you don't believe in miracles, you best start believing in miracles, because you're in one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, we'll go to this next one here that you sent me. Says,
you can turn on the music on the side.
I will. Says, when corrupt elites can't access U.S. aid anymore.
No.
Good.
No.
Again, this is awesome. I mean, USAID has been an organization since 1961, and it's basically just been robbing the U.S. taxpayer since then. I mean, granted, I'm sure the corruption just tripled under the Obama administration, because that's what it does. I mean, you all saw what, like all those subscriptions going into all these corrupt media organizations like Politico. Mm-hmm. It's like, I mean, what does the USAID need to fund $600,000 in subscription services.
That's also the other part of it, is like it wasn't just Politico. They're finding other organizations which they're just going to continue to go to. I mean, no, the other organizations that were donating and buying subscriptions to it. So it's not just USAID. There's other organizations, and I hope Elon and the Department of Doge keep going after it.
Again, hey, USAID, where's my subscription to Hustler magazine? Where's my subscription to Playboy? Come on, give me a premium subscription. We're the ones fronting the bill.
Next one that I have pulled up here with going on with the Deport and Defund, Pete Hegseth, U.S. Secretary, cancels Pride Month.
Thank you, Pete. You're the real hero.
Said a whole month for Pride. Good Lord.
Yeah. Now, I'm sure there's still going to be like splinter cells of like LGBT groups going, we're going to celebrate it, but it's off the roster for official holidays now. So, I mean, like, again, can you believe that we celebrate veterans one day out of the year, but Pride gets an entire month?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how disgusting is that? It's like, well, the gays are the real oppressed group of people in the world, and, soldiers who've gone out and fight and lost limbs, like, who gives a shit?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I mean, again, but Pride, one of the 7 deadly sins. We celebrate a month of sin. That is how fallen our society is. That's how destroyed our culture is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, again, we need to get back to the foundational building blocks of our society. We need to get back to Jesus.
Yep. Here's this next one that you sent me, actually, and I had this one in the queue, but I didn't play it because it's got music, but it's very relevant. But this lady drives by this pro-Mexican immigrant protest, and she's playing Ice Ice
You might
Baby.
just let it play since it's so loud with the people.
Yeah, it might distract away.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So worst case scenario, you put a filter on it.
I love it. She's
Again.
brave. She's got balls of steel right there.
Again, this is what's so, you guys are going about wanting your citizenship and asking for your citizenship the wrong way. Show that you're a productive member of society and wave the American flag, not the Hispanic flag.
Mm-hmm.
Make yourself indistinguishable from American citizens. Make yourself indistinguishable from a patriotic, red-blooded American. But you're not. You're waving your Mexican flags. Like, again, you can have Hispanic heritage and cultural ties to Mexico, but still wave the American flag. There's nothing wrong with having ties to your cultural heritage. But, I mean, at the end of the day, there's only one heritage that matters. It's your faith in Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Waving that flag doesn't matter. Wave the American flag. Hell, wave the Christian flag. Wave the Crusader flag. Like, just stop with this whole again, it's the same thing as the Black National Anthem during the Super Bowl. Stop with the divisiveness. We are one nation, under God, one anthem.
Mm-hmm. Next one I have here, you sent me this, and Trump is out of control. And I assume this guy's talking about Trump is making Saudi Arabia pay their fair share.
No, he's making them invest in the United States.
Oh, I see. I only saw this once, so let's check it out. Oop, wrong button.
Is making Saudi Arabia invest $600 billion into America. No. Countries used to always make us give them money, and now he's making countries invest in America. Our tax money always went to Ukraine, Africa, and other countries, and we used to get mad. But now he's making countries give us money. Now they all want to invest in America. He's trying to make America great again. What are we gonna do? America keeps getting better by the day. Why is Trump doing this? We gotta stop him so we can be complaining about government again, giving away all our money. He also went to North Carolina and looked at all the damage when it took Biden forever to go. No! He says he wants to overhaul FEMA and make FEMA work for the people again. No! Trump is making Saudi Arabia.
Oh my God, that's good. That's really good.
Again, that he is mocking liberals right now, and it's so perfect. And he's like, oh no, Trump's making other countries invest in us. Trump's making your tax dollars go to work for U.S. people. He's going to overhaul FEMA. Again, liberals are crying about this. Like, this is a bad thing. This is awesome. Everything is great right now. And again, in America, it just keeps getting better. You're going to get sick of winning. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, I mean, what a great time for everyone. It's like, I mean, I saw a liberal friend of ours on Facebook post a picture of eggs saying eggs were up to $8 now. And like going, Trump's been in office for like less than a month. and you think the prices are going to drop like that? It's not going to be an immediate turnaround.
Where was this again? We already played a meme about this before. It's like, where was this rage, 2 weeks ago before Trump got into office?
Yeah,
about
now egg
being-
prices matter, liberal friends. It's like, I cannot believe the level of stupidity that went into, because, wow, Trump supporters, look, eggs are up to $8. Well, I mean, Trump's only been in office for literally like 3 weeks. So, and he's already done some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And they're going, the price of eggs haven't gone down. It's like, yeah, it's because it's still from Bidenomics coming up.
And 2, we have to open back up drilling and get our oil going again.
Yeah,
how do you expect to get the price of energy to go down if we've just got into office and we're just trying to get those drilling contracts all taken care of?
Again, yeah, remember, if the price of energy goes down, the cost of your eggs is going to go down because it's cheaper to get the eggs to the store. Mm-hmm. When energy is cheap, everything else gets cheap too.
Yep.
Period.
Yep. Next one that I have here is you sent me this one. Which one of these is morally wrong? Hitting your wife, A. B. Drawing Muhammad as a cartoon, C. Slavery, D. Marrying a child. And of course, the Muslim guy's chosen B. Drawing Muhammad
Yeah, he's like
cartoons.
a famous Muslim cleric too. So I mean, yeah,
Oh man,
that's Islam for you, baby.
yeah. What's this one? This one that was attached to it. Oh yeah, same one we had the other day, except with this. It's like October 7th, funny. Mumbai terror attack, funny. ISIS beheading Christians, funny. Some guy burning the Quran.
Yeah, that's a Jewish guy burning the Quran at like some protest.
Yeah. Then I love this one. We showed this one the other day too. I hate Trump. Most terrorists do.
So true, so true. We should deport that lady.
Yeah, we should. She is a bad person. Oh, did I miss anything else on this one? We had a bunch of these are from yesterday. And this is what we were talking about the other day regarding the news with white shooters or victims or whatever versus black. Mm-hmm. So it shows here, old white man clearly feels threatened. It says white man with white skin shoots innocent black teen. And then it shows this one, man shot 3. And then notice how it doesn't mention anything about the race.
Yeah. What man? Again, the media is they love selling racial narratives because racial hate sells. Hate sells. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what the truth is. If they can, make it look like a white on black crime, they will sell that in a heartbeat. I mean, remember, that's why the Kyle Rittenhouse story took off. That's why the Covington Catholic kids, Nick Sandmann story took off. They're going, white kid abuses noble savage. You know what I mean? Like, are you kidding me?
Yep.
So it's just, it's nuts. And if you can't see it, then again, you have been blinded by the mainstream propaganda. Remember, I mean, but again, it's like the government's been funding, the propaganda since 2007.
Yep.
That we know of. I mean, it's probably been longer than that.
Yep. Next one I pulled up here is from Liz Churchill. Meet the USAID outrage senators. Chuck Schumer. They're all outraged about USAID. Where was their outrage for North Carolina? Where was their outrage for California? Zero outrage. And then Hawaii, zero outrage. Like I said, but here they are. You know that this is something wrong because the moment their funds are drying up now from USAID, so that's why they're mad. This is the most mad I've ever seen Democratic senators.
Yeah,
ever.
I mean, how much money do you think that they sent over to Somalia for lesbian dance courses, which was actually just funding terrorism and illegal, trafficking of Somali immigrants to her district in, Michigan?
Yeah.
Or is it Michigan or Minnesota?
She's from where Tim Walz is from. So.
Yeah, so Minnesota?
Think so, yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. And now their funds and their slush funds and their a lot of their people who they guaranteed donors to and money and funds being sent to, courtesy of USAID, that's why they're freaking out, because USAID was funding their constituents.
Yep. Listen to this crap. Golly, these people are
That is
insane.
the desperate cry of people trying to hold on to power. Old people trying to hold on to power.
Says here, this is from Libs of TikTok. Whoa, someone leaked to Trende Aragua gang members that ICE was raiding Aurora, Colorado. When ICE showed up, the apartments were empty. Prosecutors also had blowhorns to warn about ICE coming. Tom Holman now says he's in touch with the DOJ about potential prosecutions. So, yeah, I mean, these were the liberal sanctuary cities are warning these criminal aliens, not just illegal aliens, criminals. These are gang members. So I do think that there should be some criminal action taken against these governors, mayors, whoever else is doing this. Like I said with Ilhan Omar, like giving Somalis, illegal alien Somalis, advice on how to stay inside the United States.
There should, absolutely be criminal charges, I mean, or, you can try people under conspiracy, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So try Ilhan Omar and all these Democrat sanctuary cities against the conspiracy. I mean, it's far past conspiracy. I mean, if they're actively warning people, like saying, oh, ICE is on the way right now, you need to go hide. Go hide in the attic, Anne Frank. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing?
Yep. Next one here is from Political Blasphememes. And it's Spider-Man has his glasses off, says, nobody elected Elon. He puts on his glasses. Stop exposing our corruption, which is true.
Based. I love it, man. Calling people out on their BS.
Next one I have here is, in Islam, we throw homosexuals off of buildings. And it's the liberal NPC. What a beautiful and peaceful religion. In Christianity, homosexuality is just a sin. Your religion is evil.
That's so true. I mean, again, what is the worst sect of Christianity what's the worst sect in Christianity? Westboro Baptist? Again, if the worst thing Christianity has to offer is some guys going to soldiers' funerals saying God hates fags, that is the worst Christians. I mean, but remember, the Westboro Baptist Church are viewed as Satan, as the devil. They don't hurt people. They don't go around. I mean, I say hurt people. They're what they say when they go to soldiers' funerals and stuff. I'm sure that hurts the families that are there who are just trying to bury their loved one. Mm-hmm. But if the worst thing that they're saying is God hates gays, and they're not actively harming anyone, that's the worst Christianity has to offer. I mean, remember, Islam, they're going to pull out a sword and chop your head off.
Yep. This next one I have here is Fights with Memes. We are afraid. It's Justin Trudeau. We are afraid of American authoritarianism. Says this guy literally freezes truckers' bank accounts that were protesting him.
Yeah, during the COVID lockdowns and the COVID passport.
Yeah, worried about authoritarianism. You are an authoritarian.
Yeah, again, you debanked people. You wouldn't allow them to access their money. That's authoritarianism. And he's sitting there going, we're worried that Trump cleaning up government corruption is authoritarianism. Oh, okay, yeah, he's helping the U.S. taxpayer. And that's authoritarian. Get wrecked, dude.
Again, I still love this one. We showed this one yesterday, but Doge, Democrats officially getting exposed from Kevin Sorbo repost. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Next one. I love these. Liberal, like soy boy cuck, like liberal. Feeling buyer's remorse, MAGA? Don't blame us, MAGA. We tried to warn you, MAGA. Heh. MAGA every day now. I literally couldn't be happier.
It's so true, man. I mean, again, the food prices have not dropped immediately, but it's going to take a little bit before all this energy cost comes down and everything starts to follow suit. I mean, again, I bet you insurance prices might start coming down if the energy prices come down. Because, again, it's going to be cheaper to haul supplies to go rebuild houses or, cheaper to haul supplies to go fix cars.
Yeah.
Everything, if energy goes down, everything's going to follow suit. Down. It's going to be beautiful.
Yep. Next one I have here is a repost from Cat Turd. Infuriating. The Democratic Party really hates you. Says that this is, and it's a repost from John Lefebvre or whatever. You paid for this. U.S. aid funneled $27 million to Black Lives Matter through the Tides Foundation. So, yeah, you were literally paying for them to burn down all your businesses and stuff during the Summer of Love riots.
Well, that's okay. I mean, big corporations will come back in and be able to rebuild, and those businesses that went down, if you can't afford to rebuild your business after it burns down, that's your problem. It just means that you weren't profitable enough. So get wrecked. I mean, it's like the Bernie Sanders argument whenever he was in the what debate? Who was he debating? It was it Ted Cruz?
It probably
I think it was Ted Cruz because he like that poor lady was like, I own like 7 nail salons and I can't afford to pay my nail salon stylists health care. I just don't have we don't turn enough profit for me to do that.
Yeah.
So if you make it mandatory for me to do that, I'll shut down. He goes, well, if you can't afford to pay your customers' health care or your employees' health care, you don't deserve to be in business. Like, do you think those people would rather be employed or have shitty government health care? Take your pick.
Yeah.
I think I would rather be employed than have mandatory government health care.
Goes to show you that's why Democrats, and including Bernie Sanders, Mr. BS Bernie Sanders himself, does not care about small businesses. He only cares about big corporations that can afford everything. I mean, literally, that's unfortunately how insurance is kind of moving now, too. Like, if you can't afford every little bit of your insurance, to afford your insurance as a brand new business, they don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Next one here is a repost from Elon Musk, and it's from @RealDonaldTrump. Trump. Looks like billions of dollars have been stolen at USAID and other agencies. Much of it is going to the fake news media as a payoff for creating good stories about the Democrats. The left-wing rag known as Politico seems to have received $8 million. Did the New York Times receive money? Who else? This could be the biggest scandal of all time, perhaps the biggest in history. The Democrats can't hide from this one. Too big, too dirty. And this is 100% true. The Democratic Party and the mainstream media have at least anyone that was receiving money from the government have no leg to stand on.
Again, this is why all those Democrat politicians you saw, Chuck Schumer, what's her name, the Muslim chick, they're all freaking out. They are getting exposed, and again, the money that they're sending to their constituents is gone. The money they were sending to their dictators in Somalia, gone. They're going to be pissed. They're going to be like, why are we funding you to run in your district if you can't even keep the money funding being sent to us?
Yep. Another one from Elon Musk right here. And Jim from The Office. When you're finding fraud and someone yells stop, that's who's doing the fraud.
Yeah.
Democrats.
And again, it's not that the people who are like the administrative people, I mean, I do believe a bunch of them are probably just communist Marxists, but again, it might just be comfortability. Imagine if you got a cushy job where you came to work, you didn't have to do jack squat all day, and you had good government benefits, you had a decent living wage salary, and you can go home and live comfortably. Why wouldn't you help prop that machine up? Again, that's why the government's so bad.
Yeah.
It just props up corruption.
Yep.
And again, you got your job. Why are you going to rat out something that's keeping you paid?
You're not. Next one I have here is 79% of men don't belong in 70% of Americans think that men don't belong in women's sports. Democrats will see this and still not understand why they lost, which this is true. Every single Democratic person I know is doubling down on this crap. They're like, it's just not fair. They should be able to play whatever division they want to play in. Just like, no. Said they can play in the men's. Said there's no rule that keeps girls from not playing in any men's sports. But guess what? They can't hang. But guess if you send a guy who used to be a woman, who wants to be a woman, down to the women's, he is going to dominate.
Absolutely.
There's never one. That's the thing. Why is it never the opposite? Why is there never like a woman that becomes a man that's dominating in the men's division? It doesn't happen. It will never happen.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Next one we have here is Declaration of Means. Accountability. Oops, turns out masks and vax were pointless. And then as they're burning the women they accuse as witches at the stake, goes, mistakes were made on both sides.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't seen that one before.
This one right here, I love these ones. This is a white dude's rare. No one voted for this. LOL, yes we did. Slash it. This is the best month ever. Oh, I love it. I love it. It's like, no, this is exactly what we voted for. This is why I love these memes. Like, are you feeling regret yet, MAGA? Like, yeah. Nope, not really.
Yeah, again, it's the epitome of that Facebook post I saw from one of my college buddies, taking a picture of eggs and being like, buyer's remorse yet, MAGA dummies? And I'm just like, oh my God. I mean, again, give it another month and see if the prices come down.
Yep. Next one I have here is it's the liberal NPC versus the Mega Chad or Giga Chad, and it says, if you abolish taxes, there won't be any funding for government programs. That's the point.
That is the point. Again, there's too many. Again, what was the Milton Friedman saying?
There's nothing as permanent as a temporary government program. Nothing so permanent as a temporary government program.
Boom. There you go.
Next one I have here, Spider-Man 3 meme, says, it's from Wall Street Mav. I love Doge. They are shutting down U.S. aid. They say the Department of Education could be next. I already said I love Doge. You don't have to sell me on it.
Base McGuire.
Oh, goodness me. Here's this next one. Again, this is just another one. U.S. aid funded BLM. U.S. aid literally funded the destruction of your cities. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Everyone forgets about the Summer of Love riots. We never talk about that. We talk about January 6th.
And now we know it was government funded with our own taxpayer dollars. We funded radical black Marxists to go in and burn down cities.
Yep. Next one I have here, also from Wall Street Mav, says USAID sends money to help orphans. Be honest. I am being honest. Where does the money actually go? It's being laundered back to members of the DNC. Thank you.
Thank you. Indeed. That's exactly where it's going.
Mm-hmm. That's why they're so angry about it. There is literally some sort of weird, incestuous payoff going on from USAID with the Democratic Party. Because why are there no Republicans there being like, this needs to be saved?
I don't believe that Chuck Schumer and what's her name, the AOC or Maxine Waters, I don't think they're magnanimous. I don't think they're saying, oh no, these poor foreign people that we're sending money to are going to die. They don't give a damn. They're mad because the people who support them and prop them up are going to be like, what the hell's going on? Why are we keeping you funded? Why are we keeping you in office if you can't even keep the organizations alive that you promised us would be funding us?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening right now.
Donald, and this is a good one from Seinfeld. Donald, what's going on in there? We're making America. We're saving America, Jerry.
We're saving America, Jerry. We're saving it.
Mm-hmm.
He is, man. He really is.
Federal workers, so this is the liberal crazy lady me here. Federal workers getting fired for refusing the vaccine.
So good. That's awesome. That's what you get, religious nut jobs.
Mm-hmm. And then federal workers getting fired for wasting tax dollars. Sure.
They're going to starve to death now. How dare you? I mean, again, we cannot worry about when there's so much government bloat. I mean, these people will find other jobs. They can go work at, again, learn to code. Work at Walmart. Go work at McDonald's. How are they going to get a living wage off that? Well, we just paid these people to rob our pockets. So, I mean, I'm not super concerned about where they go from here.
Mm-hmm. This one's great. It's Trump. It's the Simpsons meme, but it's with Trump and a trans woman. So, women's sports, and he's kicking them out. I love it. I
love it.
Mm-hmm. Then this next one, Muslim attacks British couple for eating pork because they eat pork. They also want to dictate what we can eat or drink. For Keir Starmer's problem in England is Islamophobia. Good Lord. So let's restart this.
Yeah, call about your mum, you son of a bitch. Yeah.
You're not allowed.
Yeah?
You're not allowed.
I'll fucking move your fucking phone out my face before I smack it one. You son of a bitch.
Yeah.
You are a son of a bitch. You are, look at you. You eat pork and you fucking look like pork. Yeah. You fucking pig. You fucking pussy. Yeah. This is racist. Yeah. How's that racist?
Coming to a neighborhood near you.
Cultural enrichment right here. All because we eat pork.
Yeah. Yeah. Pull the fancies on then.
How dare you not agree with all my cultural customs? I mean, I know I moved here, but you need to make sure your culture adjusts to mine.
Fuck you. Fucking stupid bitch. This ain't your country.
What do you say, this ain't your country?
You fucking swoop.
You don't even try to do that.
Delete your fucking shit and move it then.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, cool.
Yep. Welcome to Diversity is Our Strength again. On another episode of Diversity is Our Strength.
But again, I mean, I laugh, but because Chad said it's funny, but I mean, seriously, this is a problem. You got these aggressive Islamic zealots coming into your country, and like I said, they're going to shame you for eating food? I'm sorry, they sell pork at the grocery store, and we don't agree that pork is something that we're not allowed to eat in our religion. We don't follow the Abrahamic customs the way the Jews do anymore. You know, we know that Christ was the final sacrifice. So again, these fanatics are coming to your neighborhood and they're going to, I mean, imagine if like your kid was out in the street eating like a ham sandwich or something, and this guy came out and just beat the crap out of your kid for eating pork in front of him.
That's actually what they talked about. Tim Pool had on the prime minister or the president of Poland, and that's what he said. He was talking about how there's a bunch of people in other countries, he knows, like Great Britain, France, and places like that, where the Muslim population is dictating they can't bring meat to school. They can't serve meat in school cafeterias anymore, especially if it's pork.
Wow.
So to not offend anyone, the schools are adopting, we're just going to go all veg.
All vegan. Wow, now your kids suffer because Muslims' sensibilities are offended.
Well, Muslim, and in this case, would be vegans as well. But
Yeah.
I mean, my God.
But again,
nobody gives a crap about offending vegans.
Yeah, but we sure do give a crap about offending Muslims. Like, that's terrifying.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to get rid of these two, even though I know they're funny, Corey, because we're running out of time here.
Absolutely.
So we'll get rid of that one and that one, but we can still end with that one. But this one I found extremely interesting. This woman asked ChatGPT, if you were the devil, how would you make women hate their role at home? And it's actually very spooky because it's basically just giving a solid case for feminism.
Well, no, it's literally spilling out feminist doctrine. Mm-hmm. It is the doctrine of feminism.
So check this out. Oop, wrong button. It asked ChatGPT, if you were the devil, how would you make women hate their role at home? If I were the devil and wanted to make women hate their role at home, I would. Good Lord, that goes so fast. I would take a strategic, multi-layered approach to distort their perception of homemaking, motherhood, and marriage, and here's how I'd do it. 1. Redefine fulfillment and success. I'd convince women that the true success is, I'm just going to mute the sound, is found outside the home. I'd equate their worth to a career title and paycheck, or social or societal status. Make them feel like homemaking is a waste of time and their talent. I would whisper that they are just a mom, and as raising the next generation, creating peaceful home and nurturing marriage was insignificant. Glorify discontent and resentment. Glorify discontent and resentment.
Envy.
Mm-hmm. I'd highlight the hardest parts of motherhood and marriage while downplaying the joys, which is constant. You know how hard taking care of a kid is?
You know how many diapers you're going to have to change? How often they're going to wake you up in the middle of the night and cry? It's so awful. But I mean, again, they say nothing of the joy that, like I said, like I can see it with my friends that have kids. Like, I mean, like their kids are their world. Mm-hmm. You know? I can see it with my parents still.
Yep. I'd make sure they'd constantly compare their daily grind and the daily grind to, I don't know what that is, curated, glamorous lives of influence to the lives of influencers who appear to have it all. I'd feed them lies that their husbands don't appreciate them, their children are burdens, and their home is a prison. 3, normalize chaos and self-indulgence. I'd spread the idea that the home life is meant to be messy, overwhelming, and exhausting. So why even try? I'd push the message that it's impossible to be a peaceful, joyful homemaker, and the only way to cope through the endless scrolling, retail therapy, or constant me time at the expense of their family. Which is constantly something like, I have no time to myself in movies all the time. I have no me time.
Again, this is why I'm a big proponent of not having like a home gym, because I like places to mean things. Like when I go to work, I'm at work. I don't want to take work home with me. You know, when I get home, I want this to be the place of peace, the place of, I can just shut down, shut off, and recharge. Now, obviously, that's not always going to be the case, but when you get home and you have that sense of, I'm at peace now, no one's going to bother me, that is a game changer mentally.
Mm-hmm. Next one here. 4, undermine marriage and motherhood. I'd make sure they believe that their husband is just another child to take care of, and that motherhood is an endless cycle of servitude. I would elevate independence over partnership, make them feel like their family is holding them back rather than being their greatest blessing.
Hold on, and I got to stop right there. So, Christ was a servant Lord, right? Like, he came down and he washed the feet of his disciples, the most holy of holies, God incarnate, washed his disciples' feet. We are servants. You should be in servant relationships, like marriage. It's not a husband and a wife competing with each other. They're serving each other. The best friendships you'll have are the ones with people who don't expect anything from you. They're just like, hey, man, what do you need? I'm coming over. I'll help you out with it real quick. Again, this is the difference between allies and friends. A friend doesn't want anything in return for your friendship. Your parents don't want anything in return for their love. Jesus was a servant Lord.
Yes.
He served his disciples. He served the world. He sacrificed himself for all of us. That's what you need to think of in your marriage. If you are competing with your spouse, if you are doing anything like that, guess what? You're doing it wrong. The most joy you will get is when you serve your spouse and serve your family unconditionally and lovingly. You don't do things because you expect to be, nobody's going to clap their hands and be like, woohoo, wow, Mom, thanks for dinner. It's like, if they don't thank you, the thanks that you get is the blessing in the afterlife for the service you did here on earth.
Yep.
So sorry, you can keep going.
No, you're making good points, and I was also just gonna add on to that was it's like an ally. Like all your work friends are your allies. Like they're not gonna trade a shift or something with you without getting something in return.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. That's a perfect example. Like your friend would be like, "I'll take your shift. I know that stuff's falling apart at home. I got you. You don't ever have to pay me back again, and your paycheck's gonna look the same." That's a friend. Again,
an ally goes, I'm not doing this unless I get paid for it.
Yeah, you're going to give me your, let me drive your car for a weekend at least, something like that.
Exactly. Next one. Erasing femininity in a story of womanhood. I would blur the lines between men and women. That is literally happening right now. Mm-hmm. Making them believe that femininity is weakness. I'd mock traditional womanhood, homemaking, and motherhood as outdated, oppressive, ensuring that they reject their natural design to favor of more empowered, but ultimately unfulfilling path.
I mean, you can see this in Hollywood too. I mean, they're swapping out traditional male heroes with female heroes now, and like I said, it doesn't resonate with men because men want to be the one that slays the dragon and rescues the princess. It's like I can't identify with the badass chick doing that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So they've even said that women men hero characters, men idolize the hero character because they do something great and that they go to save the princess or whatever. Whereas females are they just want to get the credit for doing something great. Like I said, that's the difference. A guy will take zero credit for it. Mm-hmm. Like a guy that dives on a hand grenade, the guy that dives on a hand grenade is not going to get any credit for it at the end of the day.
Well, at least he won't be around to get it.
Yeah, exactly. He won't be around to get it. They said guys don't do things to receive credit, generally speaking, most of the time in a hero movie. Girls, the girl character has to get adored and admirated at the end of the film.
Yes. Yeah, that's a huge part. Could you read through that again? There was something else I wanted to say, too.
Go back a little? I can't.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
never mind.
That part.
Never mind. But again, blurring the line between traditional gender roles. Again, transgender ideology.
That's basically
men,
what
women.
it was at. So.
Yeah.
Next one, 6. Fill their minds with noise. I'd make sure their days were filled with distractions, constant screens, social media, shallow entertainment, so they had never had time to reflect, pray, or find peace in their role.
Yeah.
I'd drown out wisdom from older, contented women and replace it with modern feminist rhetoric and breeds dissatisfaction.
Right here, folks. Look at this. This is your distraction. The biggest distraction. I mean, I have to use this for work. I have to use this for communication. I mean, we're never just. I actually made this realization when I was I'm always listening to a podcast or something. I literally on the drives home, I was like, I'm just going to sit in silence, and I can't tell you what a mental boost that was. Sometimes you just got to turn everything off and just hear the silence, because it's like why Jesus went out and fasted in the wilderness for 4 days and 4 nights. He was alone. It was quiet. Mm-hmm. It's like you got to shut things down. You got to turn things off. We don't have to constantly be entertained all the time, and that's the problem. We live in this world where we're inundated 24 hours a day.
Yep. 7
with noise.
Sorry. Make homemaking appear lonely and meaningless. I'd isolate them, cut them off from the community with other like-minded women. I'd make them believe that no one understands their struggles and that they are alone in their role. I would remove any sense of sacredness from the home, making them feel a never-ending cycle of chores rather than a place of life-giving beauty. Ultimately, I'd work to make women forget their why, the deep, soul-enriching purpose behind caring for their families. I mean, I honestly think ChatGPT might be the freaking devil at this point.
Yeah, I mean, my God, I mean, this is chilling listening to you say this. It's like that message from who was that pastor in the 60s that said, if I was the devil, I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah, I might get that and play that in one of our next episodes.
Yeah, I can't remember who that was.
He went to TU.
He went to TU?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, so that's what I was like, wow, how cool.
Yeah.
Mom was telling me about
But yeah,
it.
if I was the devil, I would corrupt.
Yeah, it's literally, if you want to look this video up, it's called "If I Was the Devil," like speech from, I forget his name, but I'll remember it here in a little bit. But let's go back to this.
Yeah, you keep reading. I'll actually look it up.
Ultimately, I would work to make women forget their why, their deep soul purpose, caring for their families. I'd trade their peace for striving, their contentment with comparison, and their joy for exhaustion. Because when a woman hates her role at home, the foundation of the family crumbles, and within it, the strength of future generations.
If I Were the Devil by Paul Harvey, 1965.
Yep, that's it. Paul Harvey. If I Were the Devil. I might try to find that really quick.
No, it's a long one, so we might have to do it another day. Because we're already over time. But yeah, what else did you have? Or was that
that's it? That's the funny Trump video to end it out with. So let me transfer.
But yeah, I mean, that was bone-chilling and terrifying listening to that. I mean, oh my gosh, like that ChatGPT could be, I mean, it might be the mouthpiece of the devil, that's for sure. Like, holy cow. Like, bone-chilling. I mean, that was almost like Paul Harvey's speech, but just tailored to women. So, whew, that's wild. But, sorry, we ran a little long today, folks, but that's what we do on these meme reviews. And, again, the most important message we can give you is not these silly memes that we talk about. It's not talking about politics or what's going on. It's the message of Jesus Christ, and it's the message of salvation, So that's really and truly what we need to be focusing on. But, again, we're here. We're part of the world, so we have to also be good stewards and hopefully push it in a direction that we see is better for our future generations and our kids. So with that being said, this is the Twins with Owasso Live. This was the Morning Loop. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you too can stay in the loop. But that is all we've got for you today for our Meme Review Friday. God bless you.
See you later, everybody.
Sure. This one says, now that the retards are out of the White House, everyone can say retard again with pride.
Why don't we get that down so they can get them going right now?
This one says white people are now allowed to say the N-word once a month just to really get one out of the chamber. And it must be whispered with a black friend nearby.
That's a big one. We're opening up that one.
This is a good one, sir. Basically says if men have to put their height on the dating apps, women should have to put their weight. That's for quote-unquote equality. She wants to know if he can reach the top of the fridge. He should want to know if she's going to clean out the fridge. It's called the Rosie O'Donnell Fat Pig Act.
That's a big one.
Okay, this one says the LGBTQIA plus 2- umlaut community is now just going to be called the everything but straight people list. It's really just a time saver.
Well, we're going to try and get it done as quickly as possible.
China will now be called China America.
If China didn't approve it, we could put tariffs on China.
When we take over Greenland, it will now be called Red, White, and Blue Land.
Greenland is a wonderful place. We need it for international security.
This one says if you see a man wearing a COVID mask outside, you can have sex with his girlfriend because Lord knows him is not pleasing her any longer.
People have wanted to do this for years. What's this one?
This says we are bringing back the real gun emoji, getting rid of that weak Democrat woke water pistol bullshit.
We have to do what's right.
Oh, this one's interesting, sir. It says all the fat, bald feminists with 40 cats who hate men, they will now be put in the front lines during any war. They don't have family or kids, just cats, as I said, so let's put them to work.
And that's the equivalent, almost the equivalent of a tariff. And they're tough. They're very tough.
If somebody says you have to respect my pronouns, you are allowed to fart in their mouth, sir.
Stranger things have happened. The wind brings it down a lot.
This one says if a woman divorces you and takes half your stuff, she's required to have sex with you half the time. Fair is fair, sir.
If we create that value, why aren't we entitled to like half? Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, guys.